on how France pulled off one of the greatest heists ever and left Haiti perpetually impoverished. It's her opinion. I think it's a good one. There's never been a more clear-cut case of reparation than that of Haiti, for that of Haiti. What France did to the Haitian people after the Haitian Revolution is a particularly notorious example of theft. France instituted slavery on the island in the 17th century, but in the late 18th century, the enslaved population rebelled and eventually declared independence. Yet somehow in the 19th century, the thinking went that the former enslavers of the Haitian people needed to be compensated, rather than the other way around. Just as the legacy of slavery in the United States has created a gross economic disparity, Black and white America is a tax on its freedom that France forced Haiti to pay. It's called an indemnity at the time, severely damaged the newly independent country's ability to prosper. Okay. Haiti officially declared the newly independent country's ability to prosper. Okay. Haiti officially declared its independence from France in 1804. In October 1806, the country was split into two. The Alexandria Pétion ruling in the south, and Pétion ruling in the south, and Henry Christophe ruling in the north. Despite the fact of Haiti ruling veterans of the Haiti Revolution, the French had never quite given up on the reconquering their former colony. So, in 1814, King Louis, the look like what's that numeral number there, Mr. Blunt? My numerals is off. What's that? X7.
17.
No, 18.
18.
King Louis 18. Right. King Louis 18 had helped overthrow Napoleon earlier that year. Had sent 3 commissioners to Haiti to assess the willingness of the country ruler to surrender. Christophe, having made himself a king in 1811, remained obstinate in the fact that France's opposition to bring back slavery. Threatening war, the most prominent member of Christophe's cabinet, Baron de Vassy, insisted our independence would be guaranteed by the tips of our bayonets. In contrast, Béarn, the ruler of the South, was willing to negotiate, hoping that his country might be able to pay France for his recognition of its independence. In 1803, Napoleon had sold Louisiana to greedy-ass United States for 15 million francs, using the number as his compass. Oh, damn, that's deep. Pétion proposed paying the same amount, only the compromise of those he viewed as runaway slaves. Louis XVIII rejected the offer, like, yo, I'm not giving you the same thing I gave the United States. He's like, well, all right. Pétion died suddenly in 1818. Then Jean-Pierre Boyer, his successor, kept up the negotiation. Talks ever continued to stall because of Christophe's stubborn opposition. An indemnification of the ex-colonist Christie government stated was unadmissible. Once Christophe died in 1820, Boyer was able to reunite the two sides of the country. However, he reportedly failed to successfully negotiate France's recognition of independence. So what he did was he negotiated, but he didn't get to recognize the independence of the Haitian people. Determined to gain at least some of that over the island, which have made Haiti a protectorate of France. Louis' successor, Charles, rebuked the 2 commissioners Boyer sent to Paris in 1824 to try to negotiate an indemnity in exchange for recognition. So in April 1825, the French king suddenly changed his mind, issued a decree stating France would recognize Haiti's independence, but only at the price of 150 million francs, or 10 times the amount they had paid for Louisiana. The sum was meant to compensate the French colonists for their lost revenues from slavery. Baron de Mercure, who Charles sent to deliver the ordinance, arrived in Haiti in July, accompanied by a squadron of 14 brigs of war, carrying more than 500 cannons. Rejection of the ordinance certainly meant war. This was not diplomacy, it was extortion. With the threat of violence looming, in July 1825, Boyer signed the fatal document, which stated, the president inhabitants of the French part of Saint Dominique shall pay the 5 equal equivalents of $150 million francs destined to indemnify the former colonists. How the hell?
You're gonna pay me.
Wait. How the hell do you enslave folks, send them someplace, they get their independence, and then you're gonna tell the same people you enslaved, man, you still gotta pay me.
It's called European colonialism.
What is wrong with
imperialism?
That's what it is.
And wait a minute. So now you got people angry about critical race theory because you're going to teach the truth. This is the truth.
This is why it's not in the
Wait. This is the truth. You don't find this shit in your history books.
They don't talk about the Haitian Revolution.
Wait. You don't find none of this.
Do they teach that down on the island?
Shit, I ain't never been
That's because they ain't got no damn schools in fucking Haiti.
Why
think everybody come to this bad boy? Look at these two Haitians.
I was born here, sir.
Your ass escaped from New York too. Shit.
My grandfather went to New York.
You escaped.
When he came here.
He escaped from Haiti.
No, actually, I'll tell y'all the true story. What happened? Kodak did a lottery in Haiti in the 60s. My pop actually was a part of that.
Now, that sounds some slave shit about here. That's like us being on the plantation. Right. Okay, niggers.
Well, Nate,
we got a lottery for some of yins to get free. Mr. Blunt, your ass gotta stay. Eric, you can run a show this month. And they let you go and they go, you got too far. Come on, man.
That goes back to what Frederick Douglass said 150 years ago.
Doing to us.
Power concedes to nothing without a demand. It never has and it never will. And see, the French are upset because they got their
ass kicked.
How about this?
They never forgave Haiti for that.
How about this? Newspaper articles from that period reveal that the French King knew the Haitian government was hardly capable of making the payments.
True.
Okay.
Of course.
As the total was more than 10 times Haiti's annual budget. Forced to borrow 30 million francs from the